Hello, everyone. How's it going? Hi. All right, folks. We got a schedule of all time today. A schedule of all time. First off, congrats on first load draw. Hello, Skyhawk, Michael, my horse. How's everyone doing tonight? Hope y'all are doing well. Ice barrier with fish sonar. How interesting. So tonight, chat, we're hanging out. I have a lot of things to do in the background, but I think it's been a little bit since we've done Yu-gi-Oh! So I'm gonna have Yu-Gi-Oh! Up in the background. What we're doing tonight is it's crazy windy. Hello, Black. Welcome on in. Tomorrow we have our community tournament that we're going to be doing a little bit before this time tomorrow. What we're doing today is I actually have a bunch of Quimbus presents to have. But I figured we could yap about Yu-Gi-Oh! While I do that, you know? The multitasking, it never ends. Multitasking, it never quite ends. I hope everyone's doing pretty alright today. Are y'all having a good, Wednesday today? Are you having a good Wednesday? You find Wednesday advantageous or fortuitous in any way, shape, or form for y'all? I hope you do. If you don't, I suppose this is what it is. In terms of what we are packing, I can't really show y'all what I'm packing for Queens. Sorry. So I do have to figure out like the proper way to pack some of these things. I do really like the little soul scrivents that pop up in the dual field for this one though. I find them very cute. So this is the first time I'm packing. I suppose I should get the wrapping paper out. But it's the first time I'm packing. So I've packed hardcover books before. I've never really packed. What's the word? I've never particularly packed. I don't have experience in packing. Oh gosh. I hope that wasn't anything wrong. I don't have experience in packing paperbacks. So it's gonna be a new experience for me. Oh, hello, Elliot. So yeah, we've never packed paperbacks before. We're gonna try it, give it a best shot. I'm hoping it turns out well. I got very cute wrapping paper. Sandwiched between two pieces of cardboard. Well, so here's the thing. I'm actually more concerned about so first off, I want the book to stay safe. That's a given. Second off, you obviously don't want to get the tape on the book. So I gotta make sure that after we wrap it, it's all nice and safe too. So, there's a couple more steps to pack in this one. Yeah, you can just watch random duel. Oh, I forgot to check the link! Oh, shoot. Yeah, you can watch random duel live. We're gonna hang out. Nothing productive will get done today. Nothing productive at all. It's gonna be mad yapping, lots of yapping. You'll have topics to discuss. You're welcome to discuss them. I'll be here for my thing. Do I got any boxes here? Do I have any boxes around here? Boys. Terrible position. Hoping this box I pick up here is good enough. If not, I'm gonna have to keep looking. I hope that this is the proper side. Otherwise it's not. Actually, if I take out the side panels are the proper side. You excited for the tournament you've been practicing? What about everyone who's entering the tournament? Speaking of which, I should probably re-advertise the tournament. Probably a good idea. Let me put this down real quick. And make sure to send this to both chats, and then let's check on the link for this one. How have y'all been, chat? How has the week been for y'all? I know I've been a little MIA. We've been kind of busy. I believe so. It should be 9 p.m. for you. If you actually check the Discord, in the announcement, or the notification, which is the announcements panel, you can actually see a timestamp version of when the tournament will start. I wish I had my box cutter, but we're just gonna start taking apart this box. You'll want to show up a little bit earlier though, because check-in starts about 30 minutes early. So we'll start the stream a little bit earlier to give everyone a reminder. Let me get out there. So y'all are gonna hear a lot of whistling, unfortunately. Just about enough space. Yeah, good call on the cardboard. I almost didn't consider that. I really don't want this to get squished. If that. Oh, hello Vito. Welcome on in. Hi. Hello. How are you? Yeah, Lobster Lady ASMR. ASMR is Lobster Lady Pack's last minute Kumbis present for you. Clearly. Clearly that's the ASMR. What is this spell I've cast? You have your tongue tied. What did I do? What did I do this time, huh? Huh? Why is everyone saying I'm doing? Huh? Oh, hello, Steam. What am I doing this time, huh? What are the allegations this time? What have I allegedly done? I'm sure I can beat these allegations. I'm sure we can beat these allegations. There's a very interesting hybrid stream. A hybrid stream is everyone who enjoys yapping and everyone who has a vested interest in Yu-gi-Oh! I can't believe they summoned the Chengle. Is that common for this deck to go into Chengle? Hello. I've returned to Yu-Gi-Oh! I have returned to Yu-Gi-Oh! Though unfortunately not as much dueling. A little bit more spectating. I hope you're doing well. Tomorrow we will actually be doing Yu-Gi-Oh! Activities. Tomorrow we're hosting a tournament. A community master duel tournament. Hello Lance, welcome on in. So anyone who's interested in that, this is a formal reminder that tomorrow we got a community master duel tournament going on. Is the pricing insane? Oh, I suppose it depends on how much you value me playing a deck of your choice. Hello Shiku, welcome on. Thank you for the head count. But Twitch, you too. Hope y'all are doing well. We're gonna go after that Altmate's Dead Knight list cool concept. Yeah, unfortunately, so the random dual lives, you can't check their deck list. I suppose we could have maybe checked the extra deck, but I'm sure you can find the source. Like, I'm sure there's source out there for it. Yeah, there's an announcements category. I suppose I can check if you properly click the rules. There's a non-zero chance that you didn't select the right... Yeah, you didn't select the rules. I'm just gonna manually bypass you in the rules. And then you should be able to see the rest of the Discord. But generally speaking, there's a rules channel for people to read and react to before anything happens. Thank you for the return. But it's nearly the Quimbus season. We're like a week out for Quimbus. Tomorrow is our special Dragon Nails Day. For those of y'all just joining us, tomorrow is officially 1,000 days since my first stream as Santon. Oh, it's to me is kind of a big deal. Maybe it's not super important for other folks, but you know, I figured I'd make a little celebration out of it. Lobster ASMR continues. Why is Chandra on the left? Hello, Greg. Chandra's on the left because Chandra's here for the emotional support. You don't understand a word I'm saying? Spectacular. Spectacular. Never let your opponents know your next move, chat. Surely. Keep them guessing, chat. Keep them guessing, alright? Congratulations. Thank you, man. I don't know if y'all can hear me cutting the wrapping paper, but I'm gonna be cutting wrapping paper. on. It's Chandra. Yeah, it's Senpai Dragon Chandra. It's just like the Wizard King. What do you mean just like the Wizard King? Who's the Wizard King? Pause. Who's this Wizard King you speak of? I think I would like to know about any, you know, any established governmental bodies in the wizardry world. I think that is something that we have to know about. Surely. I got this cute... So I have two different types of wrapping paper. I got one with these cute Quimbus dinosaurs. Because dinosaurs are super cute. And then I have one with penguins on it. Because I also think the penguins are super cute. Hello, Anya. Welcome on in. I'm not playing. We're just watching Duel Live. Although I suppose, like... What is this? Habakiri Rise? What kind of sick this is? Chaotic Good Barbarian. No one can understand what he's saying, so they can't counterspell him. Actually, no, chat. Let's go on a moderate tangent when it comes to discussing, you know, our yapping. So, in Dungeons and Dragons and related media, right? There is a thing called Power Words. It's a type of spell in which you need to use a word. It's a verbal component spell in order to do something. A thing that I've seen discussed online recently is whether or not a power word affects a creature that doesn't understand the language. Which is an interesting take on how that spell is supposed to... Did they just do another... Okay, they just do another ritual monster. That's crazy. You see the hand, it's obvious. Oh, hello, come on. Well, honestly, I'm not super caught up with the meta. I play primarily rogue deck, so like... Here's the thing. Just by looking at the hand, you can see like Icefoot. Are they going Typhon? Pause? Let's go! Chat, Typhon's win rate about to go down into... the 4 bits. Let's go. I love when we go Typhon. I love when the win rate for Typhon goes down. Beautiful. Amazing. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Like, which category is it under? It's under the announcements channel in Notifiquous Stayflex. Oh, hello. Thank you, Bruce Meter, for the follow. And hello. I'm going to, let's see, House Welcome House Walking Magic. I'm assuming that's House Dragon Maid in German? That's my assumption. Is that that's House Dragon Maid in German. Because Pumi speaks German. And Mr. Joshua Fiendsmith. That's my assumption. I know nothing else about the language. The spell in question is the Sisyphus thing. Oh, no problem. So, Twitch chat, if y'all don't know on YouTube, I have a slightly different title. The title is that Sisyphus would be envious of our current vicious cycle. So anyways, back to the power word thing. So the concept of the power word is that you speak the word, and it obviously has power. Okay, that's a given, right? But basically, the person who's casting it needs to be able to say the word. Now, the real question is the person being affected by the spell, do they have to actually know what the word means to be affected? That becomes the question in mind if someone has a power word, like to kill another person. You know, if you say power word kill, but you say it in a language that the creature or, like, person being affected doesn't understand, do they still die? Now, some people would say yes. Some people would say no. I think it's really funny to say no. But I also think it's kind of unfair. Hello, Lucian. Thank you for the head cat. So, I don't know. If y'all familiar with that, do discuss. Typhon slander? Look. One day, you will find yourself in a game state to use Typhon. Surely. but is it always the right answer? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Sometimes it is your only answer, and that is a unfortunate thing. The Arduino Palm. You think that power words are their own specific language? They have power, but you need to learn them. Like Dragon Shouts in Skyrim. So if we do it like how Skyrim does it, I'm pretty sure in Skyrim, even if the people don't know the word still has power. But like chat, for the comedy, do you rule it that the creature is unaffected if they don't know the meaning of the word? Awesome, guys. There are also that do require them to understand. I mean, I know like the actual rules, right? I know how the power word is actually ruled. But, you know, do keep in mind that like, within these spaces, it's a mix of the theater of the mind and also like, you know, house rules type activity. So, you know, if you're playing with like a group of players that like you could reasonably homebrew it, I do think it is a interesting flavor if you choose to rule it that way. I don't think everyone should rule it that way, obviously, but it is something to consider, that type of interpretation. Oh, Samuel. iPhone is a lose more card, and I love it for that. Welcome on in, everyone. How are you here? Hey, hi. I got a really, really funny book for one of my friends for Christmas. A really, really funny book. I hope that they like it a lot. The book's title is How to Talk to Your Cat About Gun Safety, Abstinence, Drugs, Satanism, and Other Dangers That Threaten Their Dying Life. And I thought that was a fantastic title for a book. Should I have probably read it before picking it up for them? Yes, I probably should have. But maybe it's funnier if I don't read it at all. But I thought that was such a wonderful title for a book. So yeah, again, reminders, we do have a community tournament tomorrow. The winner of the tournament gets nothing too crazy. I guess it just depends on how interested the vested parties are. TLDR, it is the current Master Duel ban list and the winner of the tournament. I take their deck list card for card. And I built that deck list in Yu-gi-Oh! Master Duel. So this is encouraging y'all to play decks that you want to see me play, or decks that you enjoy. Otherwise, y'all gonna have to watch a stream of me playing, like, I don't know, like Vaisyo Mitsurugi, and no one wants to watch that. I'm pretty sure I can perfectly pilot it without much issue, but no one wants to watch that. That's boring, chat. That's boring. If we wanted to win games, we would just grind outside of, like, Golden Egg. That's no fun at all. Do you get a card signed by me? I suppose I could also potentially add a card signed by me. We could just add that last minute. We could last minute add that into the pricing. I think that is something that we can include. It's a free to enter tournament. I can throw that into the ring. What is the monster on my wallpaper? You mean Tenpai Dragon Chuntua? You mean this little guy here? Tenpai Dragon Chuntua. Tenpai Dragon Chuntua. Chuntua, say hi to chat. Chuntua, say hi to chat. If you're talking about my Master Duel wallpaper, I don't know which one it is, because it cycles through random ones. So we would have to double check. You may have seen... Let's see, I think we have an Ursa Arctic card. I think we have the beach background. I can't remember what else we said for the background. For the wallpaper, but... I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm not paying attention, by the way. There's a Boatload Savage on the board. Which is gone on paper. The main menu. I'd have to come back to see. Because I have multiple different ones. So I couldn't tell you. Because it cycles through all of them. Okay. So now I'm going to take this together. Akin to how one would tape a card into a top loader outside. What? And do I have part of this ready to go? You want a signed copy of Demeter? From Molestos? I can make that happen, probably. You know, speaking of Demeter, chat, okay, because I'm really busy with VTuber activities, a lot of my Alestrals fans will be a little disappointed. I will not have time to make a cosplay for Alestrals World. So apologies to Alestrals fans, I will not have time for a cosplay for Alestrals World. We didn't take Demeter to Kissimmee because, so I packed her in my luggage and I left all the accessories at home. So like, I didn't want to do a casual cosplay of her. How tall am I? I mean, I'm not the tallest gal in the room. I'm not the shortest gal in the room either. I can tell you I'm at least taller than 5'3". So, you know. There's shorter people out there. There's shorter people, yeah. I hope Twitch rules change eventually so I can display YouTube chat on screen. I feel like Twitch chat doesn't know what's going on sometimes. Yeah. There's people shorter than me. You know, I got options, chat. I got options. Also, chat, you know, there's nothing wrong dating people shorter than you. I mean, some people might have problems with that, but like, you know, if I'm wearing heels, I'm gonna be taller than them anyway. Why does it matter? Oh no! I'm sorry, I forgot to check the wallpaper. Okay, after this one for sure, remind me. Remind me after, I was on autopilot. Remind me after this one, we have to check the wallpaper. Oh my god, I can't believe I forgot to check the wallpaper. Oh, if it has a dual field, then it's Flamboy. It's Snake Eyes Flamboy. It has to be Flamboy. If it has a dual field. It's a blue dragon, right? A blue and purple dragon? It's gotta be Flamboy. Today you found out too much time on Master. It's 92% of your games played on Steam? Hello, Astro. Welcome on it. Chat, how do I check that? How do I check that on Steam? Does Steam also have like an end of the year review thing? Let's go to my library. How do I find that? I would assume my profile, maybe? It just came out. Where do I find that? Okay, well, first off, let me confirm that the background is flamboyant. This one, right? Snake Eyes Flamboyant Dragon? It's gotta be flamboyant. Also, maybe I should update the monster on our title. Do we have anything nicer? Like, Dog Magician is a classic, chat. Dog Magician's a classic. This is so Yu-Gi-Oh! Let's see. Balloonix. Flamboyant. Beach. No, the beach doesn't look that nice. Yo, Rescue Rabbit? They didn't crop that very well. Exodia. A lot of these aren't cropped really well. The Dog Magician one, I kind of like the crop of. I didn't want to keep it as Dog Magician. Yeah, Flamboyant, right? This one, Yeah, this one, right? This is Flamboyant. This is Flamboyant. On the left? What do you mean on the left? Huh? It's not Flamboyant? I swear it's Flamboyant. Okay, pause. We'll go back. Okay, so my wallpapers... It has to be Flamboyant. Flamboyant is the only dragon we have on our random wallpapers. Case closed, chat. It's been Flamboyant this whole time. Case closed. How am I doing? Not too shabby. Let's head to my Steam shop. Pause. Let's see. Steam's Sports Fest. What, my news. How do I leave the news hub? How do I go to the store? Aha! There we go. The Steam Replay 2025. Okay. Let's see. I have 5 new games, 1 demo, and 3 playtests. I have unlocked 36 achievements. My longest streak was 20 days. I have spent 87% of my playtime on Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. We have spent 6% of our playtime on Monster Hunter Wild. And 3% of our playtime on Alicia's Play. What's my least favorite deck? I don't like playing into Eldritch. But personally, I don't think there's like a deck I dislike very much. I think I appreciate all Yu-Gi-Oh! Decks. I guess if I had to like target shoot a deck that's not in archetype, I think I dislike so there's nothing wrong with the Telements piles. I dislike the piles that take like 7 different 3-card engines and put them together. So like the pile decks where it's like I'm just going to run everything that is a starter and has like a 3-card engine. So those decks that go like Beansmith, Millennium, Horus, Tier, I don't know, Sky Striker, Board Breaker, you've seen them. They exist, they're real. I do play a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. I know you have been seeing a lot less Yu-Gi-Oh! From me lately, but I still play the game a lot. I like playing Yu-Gi-Oh! A lot. I just been doing a lot more testing for listos. And I've been trying to get a lot more work done on Steam. I hope y'all don't mind. Alright, let's continue packing, chat. I know the title is She Will Get Nothing Done, but like, I want to get like 2 things. When I mean nothing done, I mean I'll get no work done. Packing presents is a whole other thing. Quimbus is not work, chat. Quimbus is a luxury. No, I probably could have wrapped this a little better. Maybe I take it out of this case, and that will make it easier to wrap. You dislike gimmick puppets? I'm a big fan of Abyss actors. I've never personally played gimmick puppet, but I know it was very popular when the pack was out. So like, there's the actual gimmick puppet players, and then there's everyone who piggybacked on the like OTK. Yeah, the FTK. But like, there's real gimmick puppet players out there, chat. Like, real legitimate gimmick puppet players, you know. They were on that since day one, chat. Day one. This is going to look really amateur on this particular wrapping. But you know what? It's fine. It's fine if this particular wrapping looks a little amateur. It's fine. It's better to have it done than not done at all, you know. If you spend too much time worrying about perfection, chat, you'll get nothing done. Gimmick puppets were fine, but you literally didn't get to play it all. Cool. Gimmick puppets was like a higher power version of the Utopia FTK. Because at least the Utopia FTK, you can confidently stop with just input. The Gimmick Puppet FTK didn't care. They would just keep going anyway. What do I think of Perform Pro? I've actually never played Perform Pro. I only played 2 Pendulum decks. If you even count them as Pendulum decks. I personally don't count them as Pendulum decks. Yeah. Hate me? Hate me if you want. Abyss Actors play so different than every other Pendulum deck. Delmonica plays so different from every other Pendulum deck. I don't even want to call him Pendulum. So I honestly don't even know what Perform Pro does. I like Abyss Actors. They're cute. They're cute, and honestly, they're pretty balanced. It's pretty easy to interrupt the Abyss Actors. They're not even that bad. Like, if you can't beat Abyss Actors, chat, if you cannot beat Abyss Actors, you're kind of a bozo. Like, Abyss Actors can be strong, chat, but like, honestly, like, the deck isn't that aggressive. I only really have one main interact on your turn, and it's your fault if you're playing. Now, if I'm lucky and I open a couple more like, interruptions, that's nice and all. There really isn't a lot outside of the initial board, which I suppose it does beat some decks that really rely on like their first couple of decks. I think modern decks have enough gas that they really shouldn't have to care about Abyss Actors. Oh, true. Some people really do like him. 129. We'll leave a couple things mysterious and we'll leave some things out. When I do Quimbus gifts, I kind of like to do, instead of like a big gift, I like to get people a bunch of like little stuff, like snacks, just stuff like snacks, chapstick, maybe like a couple things that they use, like small things that they use on like a daily basis. That's the kind of gift that I am. I'm really practical with a lot of my gifts, because like, I feel like sometimes you give people a lot of stuff and then it just sits there and they don't do anything. Have I played the TCG or only Macedol? I started playing Yu-Gi-Oh! When Macedol came out. So, if you handed me a deck I'm familiar with, I could probably play paper, but I wouldn't know the proper, like, timing for triggers, because Macedol does it for me proper. So I never, like, formally played paper. I have Tindango on paper, a Blue Eye starter deck, and then a Pirelli coach gave me a Pirelli core for paper, so that was fun. I don't know if we're gonna build it out, but you know, it might be fun to build cats on paper. You've been seeing a lot of Sky Striker on the ladder. It makes a lot of sense. They put out a lot of recent accessories for Sky Strikers, so people probably have a whole bunch of Sky Strikers. Plus, the new support makes it so that Sky Striker can actually do something going first to second. A0 really does a lot for the deck. You actually played Tier, so until Tier came out, you were only playing Pendulum decks. Interesting. And up until Vanadium came in. To be honest, I don't know that much about Vanadium other than like Visa Store first. Chocolates is a good one. I think Plushies is also a solid one. I think like, so I'll get them like snacks, I'll get them like chapstick and all that kind of stuff. And then I usually just get like a bunch of candy. And then everybody gets like a little bit of candy. I think Sky Strikers is interesting. I'm not going out of my way to build it because I'm not super interested in the deck. But I suppose if I ever had to learn Sky Strikers, we could learn from one of the best Sky Striker players in the world. You had a 0% win rate versus Sky Striker till you started playing Ghost though. Sky Striker can be pretty strong, especially when they have the proper setup. You had an insane 10 pool. The cheaper lab bundle with the collector's file. You got 6 yours, 2 Dark Spirit Masteries, Iron Thunder, Shen Shen, Crimson Dragon, and Tactic. You know, people say Shen Shen's a pretty good one. Tactic is interesting. Chat, look, it's Santa Claus. Now they're doing the Fiends with it. You wanna play Live Twin? Honestly, Live Twin has a lot of good support. Live Twin has a lot of good support, and you even have the solo mode, so you get better access to the card. It's relatively splashable, but you can also just play it as is, too. The virus to hit spells versus Sky Circle was so sad the other replay. Oof. 1. Gonna throw a bunch of candy in here. And then Where is the lid that I use? And then I include a little note. Like, it's nothing long. It's nothing long. It's just a little note that says, like, you know, like, Merry Christmas. I have to tell my friends how much I appreciate it. Is the Evil Twin Link 1 in National yet? I don't think so. Oh, is that? Welcome on. I don't think so. I think by now there's only the Link 2s. Jedi has to be good against Sky Strikers. It kind of makes sense. Jedi is really, like, going second format type deck now. Hopefully next month. You think the branded Destia bundle way back was comparable for you? I'm glad you got good pools, Twain. We love when the economy is up. Now I just gotta double check if there's anything else in here I was going to do. So this particular is 1, 2... nope. Alright, I think that's everything I was going to give this individual. Actually, you know what? I'm smart, chat. I wrote on the letters what's included. And I was about to seal this up without putting in the most important stuff. BRB. I need to grab it. I left it out in the living room. Because me and the roomies were packing some stuff, so they grabbed a couple from BRB. I'll be right back. I promise. I promise. Watch the replay. She's back. Look at that. She wasn't gone for too long. Everyone rejoice. Rejoice, she's returned. Something like that. I hope. Hello, Phoenix. Hollow Core is an army negate with a fusion on board. This is true moves. Blind second is usually best for Gemini. How are you doing, Phoenix? How are you? I got some stickers made. Everyone act natural. What do you mean act natural? Hope y'all won't up to anything mischievous. Then let's... Where do I slot things? I can probably fit it in on this side. That one's done. Spectacular. One gift down, chat. Only 5 more to go. Surely. Surely we'll get something done. Surely. Uh-huh. How do I feel about Nibiru overall as a card? I think Nibiru is... I think it's a relatively balanced card. I know some decks completely lose to Nib. But to kind of make up for that, nowadays a lot of decks don't even care about Nibiru. And I think it does a lot of the time get to... It kind of lets like good pilots show off, if that makes sense. I think even if you don't necessarily play around Nib, being able to do something after Nib hits the board is a good form of skill exploration. Though I suppose you could make the argument that if something can play through Nib, the deck might be too strong, but... I know, I guess from my perspective, like, that's kind of just where the meta ended up. So it has less to do with the player and the individual quad, and more like the type of gameplay that Konami wants to facilitate. Yeah, blind second means you just always want to go second. You know? You no longer trust all of us with a ketchup bottle after he didn't realize the bottle was new for 50 seconds and that it was sealed. I'm sorry, Phoenix. I had to really think for that one. Like, it's not your fault. I had to really think on reading that sentence. Oh, gosh. But yeah, so that's my opinion on Nib, is I think if people think Nibiru is a problem, that's less of an issue on Nibiru's plot design-wise, and more on the decks that can play through Nib, or can't play through Nib in Yu-Gi-Oh, if that makes sense. I know that kind of sounds like a non-answer, but I think it's a valid answer in consideration of how fast the game has gone. No, you're fine, Phoenix. I had to really think about it for a second. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. It was informative. I'm glad it seemed informative. And, like, of course, honestly, chat, take my opinion with a grain of salt. Like, I'm a very casual player. So, anything I say doesn't reflect extremely well on the competitive space. But if you look at, like, problem cards that have been banned, or people do want to see banned, like, I don't think Nabil was super high up on the list in terms of, like, modern decks have found ways to play around it. But I think because the speed of the game has, like, learned to kind of outpace Nib in some ways, it's not in a terrible spot, but it's also not, like, the strongest hand trap, if that makes sense. But again, that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. Yeah, like, I think you should be rewarded for a good Nibiru, right? I think the player who activates Nibiru into someone who either doesn't respect it or doesn't have a backup line should be rewarded for nibbing. I do also think that it shouldn't be an end-all, be-all to every single matchup. I think if a deck hard loses to Nibiru and you don't have a backup line, that doesn't mean the deck is bad. I think it just means that either the deck isn't strong enough to contend with the current meta, because the meta just seems to be in a position where Nibiru is strong, or maybe you just haven't properly built out the deck to have a backup line. Now, you're not going to be able to beat Nib every single time, right? But a lot of decks that do what they want to do have found ways to play around it. It is, like, essentially a twin skip in some ways, but, you know. Like, just the other day, I saw Ray get nibbed after, like, basically full Malice combo, and then he still built a board afterwards. It kind of just did... Oh my god, Dog Ruler no more. Wait, that... It's a real answer to Pep? That's crazy. Yeah, I agree on RGB Fox. Yeah, YouTube has good opinion. Oh, Julio, yeah, we are online. Yeah, I agree. Like, I think Nib is in a good spot. I think it's definitely one of those cards that, like, can be impactful, but sometimes just doesn't matter. And it does kind of suck when it doesn't matter, you know? But at the same time, I think it is also unhealthy to have multiple cards that completely, like, will win or lose a duel on its own. Like Titan-sided, like Duel and Shifter and Map C or Fool. Like, some of these cards into certain decks will just unironically lose you the game. I I think Master Duel people have gotten used to having to play through Maxi and Duel. So at least the decks are built to kind of accommodate for that. But when you have to play through both stacked on top of each other, that's when it gets extremely egregious. Like, I think a lot of Master Duel players can agree that it's so strange that we finally have the Chommies in-game, but they won't ban that. So it's that you're about to head into some errands. Also, I'm not sure if we'll be able to do this on stream or not. But I wanted to make... So, there's a thing that gurus do with photo cards, where you, like, decorate them. I wanted to decorate some top loaders to give to people for Quimbridge. I don't know if I'm gonna have a chance to show this off on stream. Go for seeing low gameplay, yeah. So, the reason why people cite Duel to be a problem is because Duel can also force a gameplay scenario where your opponent essentially has to skip their turn. And in a format where Yu-gi-Oh is so fast that any one card starter becomes an entire board for either player, passing on turn 1 without proper interrupts will just essentially lose you the game. So Draw, Lock, and Bird creates a scenario that people are afraid of with Nibiru, where it becomes a turn skip. The difference is that the player won't have access to any additional resources after Draw, versus at least with Nibiru, right? If the player has any other lines, they can attempt to take those lines to play around the result of Nib. Once you get Duel, Locked, and Bird, there is nothing you can do for the rest of the turn unless you have cards that will set cards from deck, foolish cards, and then add those cards from graveyard to hand. What you can make out of, well, Sam, there's plenty of cards that do that. Yes, there's plenty of cards that can do that. So in a draw format, some of those decks may become more popular. But that doesn't solve the overall issue that Draw, Lock, and Bird would then be adjusting the meta to push out decks that essentially just auto-lose to Draw, Lock, and Bird. So despite there being like answers to Draw, Lock, and Bird and saying that like, oh, well, there's a diverse meta of decks that can play into Draw, Lock, and Bird, I feel like saying that Draw isn't a problem ignores the fact that like Draw being popular in a certain meta, Bestials being popular in a certain meta, or yada yada yada, will certainly impact the play rate of certain decks. I'm not trying to say the Bestials are a problem, I'm just citing them as an example where like you do see more play in formats where light and dark monsters are more popular. And when those cards see more play, they affect other cards in the meta by extension. Two cards in a core, Gemite card. No Angel Fiend sneaking. Twitch-style reincarnation hand whip under duel was an issue. Yeah, that's also an issue where like there are decks that can completely abuse duel to force your opponent to be locked out of gameplay on their turn before they even take an action. You don't see it a lot, but there's other cards that can facilitate a similar thing to the like reincarnation hand whip. The difference is instead of whipping the hand, you force your opponent to add a card, and then you lock them out of using, like, adding any other cards for the rest of the turn, which could basically just end up, like, killing their combo if into the right deck, into the correct deck. Now, sure, there's a lot of decks that don't care about duel. Summon from deck, send to grave, summon from grave, fusion from deck. But a majority of cards, good card starters in the game, will be switching and adding cards from deck. Whether it's like a link one switching a field spell, A normal summon grabbing an additional monster for your extender. Used to do things like reincarnation draw people. Hello, Lord. You're the form though, that's crazy. That's crazy. Well, yeah, but that's like the minority of situations, Julio. So just because you can win some duels into draw, just like how you can win some duels into Nibiru, right? So think about it this way. If, let's say the best deck in the room, doing Snake Eye Fire King format with Snake Eye Fire King. Just because Snake Eye Fire King can brick and you can win a duel, doesn't mean the deck is balanced just because the deck could brick and you could potentially win. If that makes sense. There's a difference between you can win, there is a position to do so, and a card is unhealthy because it creates a very unhealthy playstyle across the board. Now, I'm not trying to say that Snake Eye was like super oppressive of a meta, but I'm just using that as an example to try to draw like a comparison between how dual lock and board can be beatable, but still cause, you know, a not really fun format. Yeah, like, I'm sure there's a lot more other examples of like why dual is like a strong card. And I haven't played, like, again, I'm very casual with Yu-Gi-Oh! So I'm sure there's like a billion examples that like much more informed duelists can cite other than me. Like Shane on YouTube saying there's a Molnor lock with dual force. You like how Ornament is playing Revolution now? Revolution go crazy. So, I mean, everyone's entitled to their own opinion, obviously, right? But I do think that certain cards in certain card games do end up being a little bit of a ticking time bomb as issue cards. So. Well, yeah, different decks lose to different cards. But if you look at, like, so... This is kind of like, you know how Maxi is a problem because it works on basically any special summon, whereas the Chommies feel a little bit more balanced because they target specific zones. So Ash Blossom's a really strong card, but Ash Blossom only interacts with one card, and you can only use it once per turn. Draw Lock and Board can also be used more than once, but the fact that the effect is lingering means that instead of just interacting with one card, you can potentially interact with every single card that your opponent would want to summon, if it is potentially a deck that likes to rely on switching cards. Now yes, not every single deck in Yu-Gi-Oh! Relies on switching cards. But if you look at a lot of the recent cards that they've been making, a lot of them do include some kind of switching. Because that's the kind of gameplay that they want to promote. They want to facilitate is a card starter that requires you to look into the deck so that, you know, whatever happens is interactable with some of the most common hand traps. Either you have to normal summon and search, or special summon and search, therefore they can hit it with Valor, Impump, Ash Blossom. Like the generic type staples that you see in the meta. And like, sure, like they also printed cards that play around that. Tenpai Dragon Pydra can set a card instead of adding it to hand. But even though it sets a card and it plays around Ash Blossom, it still loses potentially to Impump or Valor. The fact that you have multiple different ways to interact with, you know, a set interaction is understandable. But again, something like Dual Lock and Board, which takes precedence as a lingering effect across the whole turn, just like Shifter being the issue, being a lingering effect for the whole turn, from the hand, becomes a big issue. You can make the argument that at least with like something with Maxi and the Chommies, at least you just have to play that they don't draw into more interaction, and that you can build a strong enough board to play through it. I'm not 100% on board with Maxi and the Chwammies, but they don't hold as much of an issue as some of these other, like, lingering effect cards. And some decks don't care about the lingering effect cards. Malice doesn't care about Shifter, for the most part. Heck, even Tempai for a certain point didn't care about Shifter. And you know what they did? They hit the Tempai card so that they would have to care about Shifter. You couldn't continue to run multiple copies and say, I'm fine losing 1 or 2 Tempai cards for 1 turn of Shifter, and I'll just switch it back the next turn or summon it off Tundra. So, like, a lot of these changes are pretty intentional if you look at what they're trying to do. And I'm not super informed on Yu-Gi-Oh! This is just my observation as a card game player. But you can kind of see what they're trying to do with a lot of these things, you know, if you take a look. And, like, I haven't looked at a lot of the new cards. I haven't really looked at Habakiri. I haven't looked at Draco Tail. I'm really out of the current format. So I can't speak to anything past, like, Fiendsmith. I hardly even know what Rizio and Malice do for the most part. You know. Whatever decks, like, become popular are because they're trying to play around less popular hand traps, and that's like a little meta in itself that evolves. Is that if you know X deck is popular, you're going to play a deck that beats X deck. Or you're going to play a playstyle that plays around whatever, like, popular mechanic, you know? I'm just yapping for the most part. Yeah, so that's my stance, that's my opinion. I don't think my opinion is, like, any hard word. I think it's just an opinion, you know? Sisyphus was the first to set cards from the deck analysis before Ash was created. And, like, that's the unique thing about Yu-Gi-Oh! Is that you have, like, different lines and unique lines. Well, like, Shifter became popular, and then you know what people started playing? They started playing Ritual Beads, because it got support and it played well into Shifter. But, like, you know, there's a lot of different decks and there's a lot of different hand traps. I personally I don't care too much about Shifter. I think at least in Master Duel, Shifter actually isn't too bad. I can totally understand why it feels oppressive when you have multiple copies. At the same time, I guess it really just comes down to the meta and what deck you're playing, right? Like, you can say that, like, Shifter in the Malice meta doesn't matter, you know? You could say that it doesn't matter into a meta with Malice, or a meta with, like, Ritual Beads. Malice hosts Red Ransom Band is bricky, fragile, and weak in board. Well, like, you know, a lot of these, like, hits to decks. Well, oh, hey, look, it's Telemint. Yeah, so, like, it is important to have interactions, chat. Players should be rewarded for hitting important choke points of certain decks. But players shouldn't be rewarded so much off of one card that, like... So here's the thing. If you open your hand, chat, right, and you play one card, a one-card starter, and your opponent uses an interaction that stops that starter, there is a world where you have no other starter in your hand, right? But in the world where, let's say you watch your opponent and you Ash Blossom them, you don't immediately think that you win the duel just because you Ash them. Like, well, if they pass, then you know. But the other 4 cards in their hand are completely unknown. And because those other 4 cards could be anything, right? It shouldn't be healthy to, without at least some kind of setup, force your opponent to, like, have no plays. Like, I know some people really don't like stun decks under, like, deep area and stuff. I will say at least most of the time in order to use D barrier, you usually can't do it on turn 1. You usually have to get some kind of setup to get to D barrier. Even if it's not a fun card to play into. Shifter just comes out of the hand. Draw just comes out of the hand, no one cares. Like, I think a couple metas ago, I would say that Dominus Impulse is kind of overkill. I think with how many extenders there's all in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Dominus Impulse is like, oh, like, this is like the logical power creep in additional hand traps that they add. The Dominus cards. Because, like, people really do just be summoning things, chat. You know what Tendango does, chat? Tendango sets one card. And maybe sets another one from the graveyard, and I pass for the turn. Off one card, any other deck, like, post 2003, gets out like 6 different monsters. It's crazy. And like, look, for the most part, I don't care too much about... I'm indifferent to stun deck. In terms of, like... Oh my god, not the double 4! Maxi! What kind of sick twisted duelist? Deck them out! Deck them out, duelist speed! Deck them out right now! Do it! Take the Maxi challenge! Deck them out! How many cards do we got? How many cards do we got? 34 cards, 33, 32. Chat, they can do it. They can do it. Chat, they can do it. Summon 10 more monsters. Deck them out. Where's the tournament check-in? I'm checking in tomorrow. It's just gonna be like, y'all just tune into the stream. And I'm gonna ask y'all to like... send me your deck list either on the Google Drive or like via Discord. They hit the super rejuvenation. A fine deck that lost the Evil Swarm on the spot. And Evil Swarm wasn't even that great of a deck historically. Yeah, like lots of stuff. Tendango cracks you off. Don't make fun of Tendango. They're trying their best. Cook duelist beat. Cook. Deck this duelist out. This is greed? That okay, chat. Double 4 Maxi. This is the kind of greed that the Bible warns you about, chat. Oh wait, they passed. They didn't take the Maxi challenge. Oh, what a bozo. Duelist B has disappointed me, chat. Duelist B has disappointed me. Double 4 Maxi, chat. It is the kind of greed that the Bible warns you about. They deserve to get decked out for that. They should have made 11 bodies. You like Tendango's life? Yeah, I love the Hounds of Tindalos. Very cute short story. I'm a big fan of Elvis stories. A lot of people dislike Maxi. Oh my god! Chat, retaliating C! Let's go, that's my goal. That's my horse. Chat, I love retaliating C. I win. YouTube's talking about Tendango. YouTube chat, if you didn't know, Rin is actually based on a Hound of Tindalos. Alright, back to packing. Chat, we gotta lock in. I cannot be distracted. We have to lock in. I'm even packing something for Mr. Ray Guy. I love retaliating C. We have a really, really cute Senpai list that I totally did not steal from my friend. That we took into a big master duel tourney and did alright with. I wish I had a little bit more practice. It took us to like, what, game 4 for me to realize Chandra only summons from deck. That's on me for not reading my card. Gutter, Sam, how are you? You sleeved your Celestials deck, you haven't opened your boosters yet, that's fine. I'm excited. Sam. I hope you're excited. We have to schedule at some point, Gutter. To play actual games. Did we schedule or did I forget? Am I a bozo? 'Cause I don't remember. 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 Okay, no, we haven't scheduled. We haven't scheduled. We gotta schedule at some point. You can open them up if you want. Lynn and Eldius already opened them up, so you can check it out if you want. We'll go on kind of freeform for this first round, you know. Play by ear, do by the vibes. Ooh, you got a binder, fun. You play in Fortnite? That sounds like a deck that loses the Ash Blossom. Now I know that that's a lot of decks, but what I'm trying to say by that is that when I say a deck that loses the Ash Blossom, I mean that a single Ash Blossom would just end your turn, no matter what hand you open, unless you open like the God hand. Now I'm sure that sounds like an insult, but I think that's just the reality of modern rogue decks, is that a lot of them that are decks that just lose the Ash. So much Maxi. You play runic combo, so you would deck them. That's actually okay. Funny story. So I play Maya Kashi, but I don't do the Bone Tower thing. But I do one card destruction in case someone does try to do the Maxi challenge. So I have to deck someone out on Maya Kashi. When they decided to Maxi me without doing the Bone Tower, Madoche loses to a single Ash even with the perfect hand. That's crazy. I feel so bad for Madoche players. Even with a good hand, sometimes Tendango can play through Ash. That's terrifying. That's terrifying that even with a good hand, Madoche loses to Ash Blossom. I kind of use Tendango sometimes as a baseline as to how good a deck is. Tendango is nowhere near playable, so if anything is less playable than Tendango, they're in a really, 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 really bad spot. What do I think about the Art-Maid's cards? You know, I haven't even looked at them. Chat, should we start reading the Art-Maid's cards? Should we start reading the Art-Maid's cards? I wish I could have someone hop in here and like read me the Art-Maid, so that I wouldn't have to read them. And then I can give my opinion on them while doing all this tasking. I got way too much stuff for one person. But it's fine. This thing in here. This. I probably need a box for this one. It's part of new lore. Ooh, new lore, chat. You know what that means? New Yu-Gi-Oh lore means a new excuse for us to accost Nif. We can accost Nif and have him read the lore to us. I love when we get Nif to read lore to us. So I don't have to read it at all. Wonderful day, wonderful news. Me popping into Nif's DMs every 6 months. Hey, I have new Yu-Gi-Oh lore for you to read. I feel like such a menace. I swear we hang out in scenarios outside of lore as well. I swear. I swear. Art-Maid's sadly buns. It would take a lot to make that deck good, and sadly, it doesn't look like Konami is supporting that deck much more. That deck loses to the first example that opened this debate, in all fairness. The Bureau would murder the 2011 and earlier stand decks like Infern Knight and Six Samurai. You can talk about Art-Maids? That's crazy. Chat, someone can talk about Art-Maid! That's probably not as surprising as it might sound. I'm probably just exaggerating. And I do also want these gifts that I give people to be, like, good quality. Like, I do want to make sure that when I'm doing all this, like, they're packaged well, they're packaged with care and thought. But I don't want to do this too happy. There's one thing that I don't know if I'll be able to get. I want to buy a specific thing from the store for a friend. It's nothing fancy. But the problem is that I actually don't know if they sell it anymore. It could have been like one of those like limited time type items. Media's definitely becoming the next Fallen of Albaz. So you're telling me there were a bisexual twink that turns into a dragon? Is that what you're telling me? Are you telling me that there were bisexual twink that turns into a dragon? Let me say that very clearly. Let me say that very clearly so I can confirm this. That's crazy. This is a popular archetype with Yu-gi-Oh! I don't know if I can get this off. I usually don't like leaving the, like, tags on when I give something, but I don't know if I can peel this tag off or not. We're going to try. I don't know if I'm going to be successful or not, though. Read Elvin, no Artmaze is getting support. They're just under a different name. Who's by and turns into a dragon? Medius? From Artmage? If they're the new Albaz, they surely must be a bisexual twink that turns into a dragon. Tell me I'm wrong. If anyone would like to refute that, the floor is open to refute that statement. Alright. Almost done peeling off this label. Just gotta be really careful with it, because I don't want to rip the packaging. No one's confirming or denying. Therefore, we turn on the Twitch redeemed color toggle. And we hydrate. Further redeem. I hope y'all are enjoying hanging out on this. I hope y'all are enjoying the casual yapping Yu-gi-Oh! Happy holidays, let's do our best, do my best, thank you. Chat, we're so behind on the Duelist Cup. We have so many gems to get this for DC Cup, but I'm just way too busy to be climbing. Ah, it is Gem Night. There we go, chat. We can pay attention to what they're trying to do. We have Gem Knight's Tyranny. Which just sounds like an excuse to fusion summon. Two. Someone wake up two moves. Gem Knights just hit the board. There's a kick Carlos in the grave. Oh, Carlos. Here's in your gem deck. Me win the pie. Oh my god, did you see? Wait, pause. Can we talk about this mill? Hello, Vital Hut. Hello, Havness. They should have been a better Telemans player. Hello, Douglas. Oh, hello, Fiendsmith Engraver. Hello, Fiendsmith. Hello, Lily. This is like every Telemans deck ever. Every modern Telemans deck is just like, oh, and now I do the Fiendsmith engine. At least when they were doing the horror stuff, they like zombie. Arbitrary has nothing to do. Why the overall single is insane. You're level 17 in the Duelist Cup. I'm just busy. Like, we could do the Duelist Cup. Okay, let me rephrase the same. We can get to stage 2 in the Duelist Cup. I personally don't care too much about competing. Instead, we get to chill on our good friend. Tomorrow after the tournament, we're gonna raid into Ray if he's starting his Duelist Cup climb early. Because I want to support my goat, my horse, Mr. Raymond Young Dye. I think anyone can participate in week 2, even if you didn't make it before stage 2. I think you still have time to make it to stage 2. You're just gonna be behind everyone else. I could be wrong with that statement. But I swear I remember one time we were behind and then we got to stage 2. And we played like one game in stage 2. You're at level 19, but you can't back second stage. I'm sure if you put your mind to it, you can do it. If I can get to stage 2 on Pundapitor or Tindango, you can get to stage 2. Surely if I can get there with my Bozo Rogue deck, you can do it. It just takes a little bit of time and effort. I'm sure you got it. Pushed on? Yeah, exactly! Everyone, it just takes a little bit of time. Just a little bit of time. Yeah, you got this. You got this. Actually, no, interesting point of discussion we had earlier. Gotta. What's your opinion on Nibiru? Like, is Nibiru a, like, good card or is Nibiru too oppressive? My opinion, I think Nibiru is fine. I think it's like a hand trap of all time. I think some decks definitely die to it, but I don't think it's like an end or be all for the format or the meta. We saw it from stage 15 today. Nice. Also, a lot of people get to stage 2 really fast because they usually start at a high stage. Like, if you're like me, you have to start from a low stage, because I don't play the ladder competitively. But if you have, like, a decent rating, you'll start at a pretty high rate. Only oppressive is you can't play around it exactly. That's also my opinion. I'm glad we're on the same page with this fam. You're so based, Butter. You're so based. You do think the DC Cup duelists are better than the ladder? Yes and no. I think stage 2 duelists are probably better than some of the bozos you see on the ladder on average. I think the regular, like, levels is a mixed bag. If you were diamond last season, you started at least 10. Waisil now really relies on Mitsurugi. Good thing that Waisils were hit. Uh-huh. The snakes just take a little bit of skill to break. I do really like that the chandelier falls down with the lamp of wind steel. That is like one of the cutest little things that they added detail-wise. I wish things were always that detailed. You got a foil Earth Spirit AO? Wait, was that all you got? I suppose at least the Earth Spirit chose you, but it knew. It knew that you were playing Dionysus. You got to level 20 on Sunday playing now. It's no loose stuff. Look at mine. Ooh, nice. And a foil Wasp Ivy. The Wasp Ivy is so-so. I don't think the PTA is a nice addition if you make it to the later rounds. And the foil Fawnlet Cutie. Thank you, Julio. You happy I did a stream? I'm glad. I'm glad y'all are enjoying hanging out. Apologies that I'm not doing a lot of dueling tonight, but I figure this is a nice change of pace for the, like... I don't know, just chatting, yapping stream. And I do like talking about Yu-gi-Oh! And I figured it's been a little bit since we talked about Yu-gi-Oh! So here we are. Let's see. So that's wrapped up. Where is... I can use the letter to double check packing. Three. The Bella Bib looks like a funny card. Bella Boss is definitely an Celestial of all time. Yes, with a little help, Nova can make Kabakiri bite its own tail. Yeah. Like, I think, chat, if you run into stuff you're not used to seeing on the ladder, it is a learning experience. And I do think that with enough time, you know, people learn how to properly pilot around certain decks. You did not pull... Okay, so that one is a hollow. So that's probably why you didn't pull it. If you want one, I do have an extra Bella Boss. So there's Bella Bog and then there's Bella Boss. So if you want the Bella Bozos, I can definitely get you the Bella Bozo family. YouTube. For those of y'all who don't know, because Twitch is a little bit more informed. We're talking about a card game I play called Alestor. Yeah, it is a 3-stage. It used to be a 2-stage and they added the 3rd stage in the set. So I can get you Bella Bozos. I can get you Bella Bog and Bella Boy. Let's see. How do I move? How do I move this? Where are the Ava mats? Ah, that's where they were. You're waiting for Yummy to try something with Point Kids? I'm also looking forward to Yummy! Yummy looks so cute. I'm gonna play the deck even if it's bad, but I heard it's pretty crazy, so... I guess I'll be okay. Okay, Gigaflora is interesting. Gigaflora and the Demeter Champ stuff have a little, like, gameplay loop within itself, but you need to see the other cards. Yummy's one of the best. You played on paper. Alright. Playing Flu in... Wait, chat. Let's discuss Flu really quick. Flu 2025. Did y'all see in the recent Genesis adjustments that some of the Flu cards went from 33 points to 0? It's time, chat. We're so back. I've never played Flu before in my life, but M-Pen did nothing wrong. We're so back, chat. Flunder Snipe, rise up. Flunder Snipe, rise up. Those of y'all who don't know, gotta place a little bit of Flu. All I'm saying is that M-Pen did nothing wrong. You're allowed to disagree with my opinion. Its worst matchup is Draco, but with Herald on the field, it can be an even matchup. I'm so right. Thank you, Luzkov. Thank you. M-Pen did nothing wrong. Well, Bina, Map, and Advent are all 33 still. Oh. Okay, well, some of the other cards went to 0, didn't they? Run it back! M-Pen did nothing wrong. You have Obina as your lock screen? That's some dedication. My lock screen is my honey. Maple has been my lock screen for quite some time now. For those of y'all who are new, my VTuber wife is Maple_Chuck. I want her hand in a dating sim after we were already kind of pre-married because we played Beyblade. Very important, Santon. You will easily show me how to yummy. Okay, I will take you up on the offer after I try the deck first myself. What if I'm a yummy genius and I figure out all the lines by myself? Y'all don't realize that a lot of the reasons why I just do my build a decks blind is because I like trying to see if I can figure out how decks work. It's very easy. Alright, I will simply be a genius, read the cards, and perform the combos flawlessly the first time around. Surely. Surely! I do like people who are diehard for certain archetypes. I think you gotta be a big fan, One-trick ponies, chat. I support one-trick ponies. M-Pen did nothing wrong. M-Pen. M-Pen. For one, Louise. M-Pen. What am I on about? I'm talking about Flu! What do you mean it's overhyped? Have you seen those things? That's peak character design, chat. Yummy is peak character design. That thing is amazing. Oh, you for sure need a yummy related model. Let me find it. I drew Cupsy Sally the other day. Like a while back. Let me see if can I find the image? New image. Let's see. Cupsy Sally. And then let me look for the image. I don't know if I have it on this PC or not. But I know I sent it in the Discord at some point. San Cupsy. Let me download and save San Cupsy. We're so ready for yummy, chat. We're so ready for yummy. Look at this, chat. I drew this like a couple weeks ago. We're so ready for yummy, chat. We've been ready. We've been ready for Cupsy yummy, chat. We're so ready. Just make a link one. It doesn't matter if the deck is good or not. I'll play it regardless, chat. We're so ready for Cupsy yummy. Last night, kids. Hello, Untown Studios. Mama Snatchy nabbing Cupsy Sally and teaching yummy. I would be down to draw that art. That would be really funny. That's my goal. That's my goal. Shout out, Gutter. Uh-oh. Are we still live, chat? Are we still live? Hello? Chat? Chat, are we still live? Are we still live? Hi, are we back? Are we back? Oh, Marching Jello, welcome on in. We're back? Alright. YouTube, are we back? We live? We live. Alright. We had a short disconnection. I'm not sure if maybe the internet cut out or what, but you know, I'm just making sure that we're back up and running. So if we're back, I suppose let's head back on into Do Live. Probably a little bit of a shorter stream tonight. We're gonna do some solid yapping, don't get me wrong. What is this duelist? Little Sand Bob? Where does the Bob come from? It might just be OBS today. Interesting. Yeah, we're so ready for yummy, chat. We're so ready for yummy. I'm gonna make sand cups a little smaller. Oh, also, I did see a request, Smashing Jello. I saw your request. I will start it probably sometime this weekend, since we have a tournament tomorrow. Sorry, Twitch, you're going into that. It looks like our bit rate is still kind of like what? But I suppose at least we're still connected. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to call you out. I'm sorry. Whoopsie. My bad. More packing is. Yeah, I gotta lock in and focus. We gotta finish packing this stuff. I really hope Josh likes what I got him this year. I hope Ray appreciates some of the stuff we got him. Unfortunately, I don't think I got as personal of a gift as I could have. Just because I kind of don't know entirely what he would like. But we're gonna try our best. Yeah, we're gonna try our best. If he doesn't appreciate, well, you know what? Then he's off the list. We'll never get him a Quimbus present again. I have not seen the meme of Cupsy being called Little Jim Boy. But yeah, if you want to call me that, I'm down. That is probably one of the least offensive things people have tried to call me. Not that people have tried to call me offensive things, but I will sanction it. I shall allow it. Now, time to I think people can also have like different opinions on what decks are good into certain decks. You might just like a specific playstyle into a certain deck. Or maybe you're able to find the proper answers with that deck to a certain deck. I don't think anyone's like definitively... Okay, I'll take that back. Some people can be definitively wrong about some things in card games, but for the most part, a lot of like opinions in card games are very subjective. So I think everyone's entitled to their own opinion. However, counterpoint, chat. You are allowed to have opinions, even if your opinions are wrong. I'm just kidding. That's toxic. The Wicked Avatar. What that does. Yumi has a solid matchup against Malice Pickles. First, second with no hand trap. Interesting. I mean, I can't really state an opinion since I don't engage with people. I do think everyone's experience is valid. And I do think you have to keep in mind that once all these decks hit Master Duel, not everything that happens in TCG happens the same way as it does in Master Duel. A lot of the times it's pretty darn close. But sometimes you do get a couple of like random curveballs. Oh, welcome to Twitch chat. I will say, chat, something very nice that has happened this year. I have made a lot of like physical TCG friends through Alaska. Before, whenever I played TCGs, it was only with my nakama. Opinion on the internet? Like, in general? Or are we, like, talking about, like, in the grand scheme of things? Are we talking about, like, my opinion on the internet as a whole? Or are we talking about, like, the meta concept of opinion on the internet? This is very important to distinguish. Opinions on the internet statement. Never. Additional statement. Understood. See, chat, that's why you've got to play with fun. When comparing it in a vacuum, but Mal still has very good game ones, which make it more powerful and best. At least playing in Master Duels for the last 2 years. Crystal is probably the most fun deck in the next set of packs we got. Interesting. I know people said Drago Tail was supposed to be really fun. But also the people telling me that also play Dragon Link. So, I don't know if it's only fun because it plays like Dragon Link or if it's actually fun. I suppose both are like okay. Yeah. Because not being able to recycle Maxi is a silly interaction. I agree. I think so. I think that is it. So does this all fit into this? I hope it does. So maybe it would be better to ship it in like this one might be better to ship in. I don't know if I trust it like this loose. Yeah, we might have to ship this one in like that. That's all. No, like. Wait, go tell what full Chimera Dragon. That does seem kind of strong. Okay. Put that over there. One to 10, how productive am I right now? Hello, Flukies. 3? 10? 10 being the highest in productivity. 3. Probably. Hello, Foopies. How are you? 10 PI. Hello, Play Stuff. Yeah, we've been hanging out. We've been talking a little bit of Yu-gi-Oh. I've been trying to pack stuff. Once we pack enough of this stuff, I might be able to turn on the hand cam and maybe we can... The problem is I was kind of planning a shorter stream. So, in the last 30 minutes or so, maybe the last an hour or 30 minutes. Okay, I'm gonna have a hard time deciding if I want to go for another 30 minutes or if I want to go for another hour. I'm sure we'll figure it out when we get there. You're probably gonna get an emergency pre-ban list. It's probably gonna be like what they did with Castile Arise Heart, right? Like how Arise Heart came in with the Castilla stuff, but it was like hit for a while. That could happen again, potentially. Though I don't know how like fully fleshed out the format has been on paper so far. There's a lot of people tell me that right now the format for Yu-gi-Oh! Is like one of the best formats it's ever been. On paper. Productivity is still a 3, maybe a 2. You really hope they don't ban Neo Station Flare Skill. No, basement don't blame. Now you work on. Maybe we do this in the last 30 minutes. Maybe I clear some space on the desk so we can do this in the last 30 minutes. I put it on a window in the corner of the screen. Maybe. Oh, but the problem is I don't have enough cute stickers. Shoot. Like, we have a couple of cute stickers, but if I was really doing this, I should have gotten more cute stickers. I just gonna make this a little rough. Okay, well, you know what? We're gonna commit. We're gonna commit to it. So I'm gonna start filling up some space on the yield deck so that we can commit to this. Let's grab all this. Move it here. I still have to wait a little away. I'll have to do that later. Uh-oh. Don't do that! Don't do that wrapping paper! Alright. Why is this over here? Put these papers over here. I gotta get up for a second. The other webcam's not plugged in. Be like that. Did I even put the other webcam? I still hope I can find the other webcam. Aha! Somehow it actually fell. Alright. Dual Life is going. How will I tell you? Let's continue doing Dual Life. So the camera position is set up. I just gotta clean up the desk a little bit. My desk is a mess right now. Tactics at 3. A pre-hit to Yummy and Vanquisher. Interesting. The problem is in a best of 1 team. True. Best of 1 is a very different format. This is very true. And that's like the other thing you do have to consider sometimes with Yu-Gi-Oh! Is you do have to consider the format. Okay, almost done cleaning up this space, and then y'all can see what I'm trying to talk about. And do I have a Yu-Gi-Oh card somewhere? Oh, right. Where did our Duelist Alliance box go? Alright. Alright. Minnie Mouse is so good. Ransom is not the card that needed to be hit. A lot of people really wanted, I think, White Binder to be hit. That's what I had to. Okay, I need to swap this really quick. Let's grab a Master Duel, because we need Master Duel for people. We gotta make Tundra a lot smaller. And then we got to get the hand cannon. How can I balance this, boys? Let's get Master Duel over here. Let's go a little bigger. Okay, so you're probably wondering, Sam, what's all this girly stuff on the deck? Hello everyone. You're probably wondering, Sam, what's all this stuff on the deck? What are we trying to do? I want to make a gift for 2 of my friends that involves this stuff that we got here. I should have gotten a couple other stickers, but I didn't consider it at the time. So, we have the special holographic top loaders that we're going to decorate with all these little decorations. You expect me and more? Oh, thank you. So I have some blue roses and hearts. I have some orange roses and hearts. And I have these because we're making something for Rookie. We will do the economy check in a moment. I also have these holographic oversleeves. Or maybe they're just regular sleeves. So I'm just using this quad as an example. We'll do the economy check in a moment. So I'm gonna get my card into this little holographic sleeve. I'm going to open and take out one of our little holographic top loaders. We are going to put the card in the holographic top loader to simulate having the card in the top loader. I want to make sure we position this correctly too, so maybe I gotta put it. So the idea is that the card is going to be in here. And then we're going to be decorating this. No, you don't have to apologize for the win. And will be. Goodness me. So normally I would have like a pair of tweezers to do this. We don't have that. I'm sure we'll be fine. So how it works is all of these come on the sheet as little stickers. So all you gotta do is just peel it off. Pick a good spot for it and then stick it on. Like this. So we're gonna design cute little borders with two cuts. Now, if I actually had the cards to put in here, that would be the ideal scenario, but I'm a bozo and I didn't find common copies of the cards these are supposed to be with. But we can play by ear, chat. We can play by ear. So the reason why you want like tweezers, because some of these are like really small. But it's fun. It's fun. We will simply just use our superior ability to apply. You also want tweezers so you can see like where you're applying this stuff. If that makes sense. Because if you don't have tweezers, it can be kind of hard to see like where you're positioning each one of the stickers. But we're going to give it our best shot. Normally it's a lot cuter if you have like regular stickers to go along with it too. Unfortunately, I didn't grab any of those. Actually, wait. I might have. I have some Yu-Gi-Oh themed stickers, actually. That we can kind of use. So, again, this is another thing that you would want like tweezers for, but I suppose having these is better than having nothing at all. I don't think I'm gonna put like Yugi on there, but we have like this tiny little scapegoat that we can use. So, and checking messages really quick. Alright, really quick, let's pause and do an economy check. For like those of y'all who don't know what an economy check is, I use sold over 1,000 copies of a card called Dragon Nails. So every now and then we do an economy check for it to see what the current market price of Dragon Nails is. So let me get that together really quick. Alright.
Sandwiched on a dragon scale, and that's what started Dragon Nest. Around the room the rulers flew, and Sansely knew what to do. She climbed on the backs of her dragon friends, now the adventures never end. Dragon nails, it's almost time for dragon nails. God, why did you buy them out? Let's all get some dragon nails.
Alright, chat, let's check the current market price of Dragon Nails. The current market price of Dragon Nails, according to this. Dragon Nails is currently 32 cents on the dollar. Not too shabby, all things considered. I love when Dragon Nails is above 30 cents. One of my favorite things to see. Spectacular economy. Spectacular economy. Dragon Nails continuing to stay near an all-time high. Ew. Alright, thank you for the economy check. Back to our regularly scheduled dual line. Oh. Yeah, so we're just going to be doing a lot of decorating. Pretty much. Right. As opposed to the white pose. I do kind of wish I had cuter, more decorative stickers for this in retrospect. Sorry for being a little quiet. I'm trying to focus on getting these on. So apologies for that. Yeah, it would be a lot cuter if we had like a couple of different or like stickers. Walker. Wonder if I can do anything about that. Am I in a Mika cosplay? No, I'm not in a cosplay. I'm just wearing gloves. I know, supplies. I'm just out here wearing gloves. Oh, that's So normally in a lot of these gaps, I would be filling this up with like sticklers in a lot of these gaps along the side. But since we don't have sticklers, I'm trying to decide if we want to just go harder on like the limestone or if I want to find some stickers to try to put in between. Nah, y'all like... The alternative is we can go at it with the gold color pen maybe. I kind of wish it was a silver. I swear we have a blue Sharpie somewhere. I'm not sure where it ran off to. And normally we have like cuter stickers to work with. So a little unfortunate. Where was the other sticker? Huh. I just had it. I swear I just had it. cool if we only had the one. Okay. Again, I kind of wish we really had stickers for the other side. Like, I think this side is looking alright. I think this side looks really sparse because there's not enough stickers. I think the other one we can at least decorate with gold accents. But we go to the shop. Is the Sky Striker stuff still around or did that leave? Huh. Okay, so there's a Draco Tail pack. They don't have it for them. I'll go back to Duel. I was gonna look at like Sky Striker stuff. It's like weapons. But I think we can like at least on the other one do a little bit of like gold accent. We could still try the gold accent on this one. I'm just not sure how well it will work. So I'm afraid of like messing it up. So I guess as a test one, I added some gold specks, like some gold dots. I don't know how easily y'all can see that. They put on with a sticky tack. Well, no, it's just I don't have like enough like rhinestone stickers to make it look visually interesting. We should have looked for some cuter stickers. That's kind of the biggest problem, is like we don't have cute enough stickers. Unfortunately, I don't have like anything else we can use in place of like cuter stickers. Yeah, I feel kind of bad that like this is like quote unquote like the best we can do. But I feel like we can do so much more. lovely. I guess we should at least make use of the book parts anyway. Like, balance-wise, it just feels a little unbalanced. So I suppose there's not much you can do about it. Only we had a couple more cute stickers. I don't know. This is like really bad. Like artistically, this is really bad. I suppose it's like kind of cute for the concept, but like the execution. Oh, the execution is so bad. I suppose it's Quimbus. So it's the thought that counts. I really think we could have done better. Like, I could run to the store and get another top loader to try to run it back. The problem is, like, that still doesn't solve the sticker problem. Maybe we just have to use more stickers. Like, we added these heart stickers from the other sticker sheet. And that looks like a little bit cuter, but... like, more stickers would have more accents. And look more visually interesting. And ideally it would be like putting them down before any of the other stuff. I guess some of these kind of work if I like finagle them into place. We do the best to make use of what we got. I suppose we can kind of make something a little bit nicer. It's great. Maybe I have high standards. I don't know. I feel like I've seen much better ones. No, maybe we do have high standards. Who knows? Another store. Like, when you add the stickers, it looks a little bit cuter, you know what I mean? Like, when you add the stickers, it's like, oh, okay, like, there's some kind of, like, plan to it. Like, y'all see how adding some stickers really changed how it looked? That's why I'm like, oh man, I should have got more cute stickers. Good night, Ellie. So I suppose this is pretty good. And if I were to like put the quad a little bit deeper, like it would look pretty much like this. So a lot more bling than I anticipated, but I suppose I hope it looks cute. So spangy, it's kind of sparkly. Oh, clothing, we're going in. I think we can try to finish up one more. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take out the quad inside. I suppose I can take a photo so I can remember this. I hope they like. Don't spoil who this is for. I want it to be a surprise. And I'm gonna give them the pop loader with the shiny fly. So they're just going to get the holographic pop loader. And then I'm gonna give them a couple of these sleeves in case they want to use them. They have an oversleeve that has a hollow print to them, which is kind of cool. So the other one that I want to do wait, there's 3. Okay, so if we mess one up, we have a backup. I know that's like a terrible way to put that, but I'm really glad we have a backup in case I somehow like mess this up terribly. That makes me feel a lot more relieved. So we're going to slot the card into the pop loader again. It's gonna be our base. And let me look over all the stickers we have access to, so that we can make like a solid like base. I wish we had better stickers. Oh, very sweet. Thank you for the follow. I wish we had better stickers. I also think this in itself is an interesting stream. If this interests y'all at all, maybe we can do another one of these where it's like a little workshop. Beast. Thank you for the head pats. Maybe I can make these for when I send out prize cards. That might be fun. Actually, you know what? Good plan. Let's hop on over to the hand cam big screen. And then we can get Yu-gi-Oh in the corner. Yes, my lord. Okay. So today we are decorating top loaders. The intent is to have it decorative on the border so it can display the card. That's gonna be our goal with this. Got Dual Live going in the background for chat. The finished one is so cute, thank you. We're gonna try our best to make a good one. This one's gonna use a different color palette. I kind of wish that we had gotten a couple other color palettes. A more like warmer color for these, but I think I'll be alright. The biggest thing I wish is that we would have better stickers for this. This was kind of like a last minute thought on my part, so I feel kind of bad that we don't have better stickers. So it makes me wonder if like I should cut out effects from like my own stickers, huh? So this one I'm going to try to make for Sky Strikers. So I'm hoping to go with like a... Hopefully this paint marker is going to look good. And I think actually what I can do is we can simulate how it looks. If I put this on top of the top loader and I just draw the gold on it, we can see if I like it or not. It's a kind of a way to like cheat the effect. See if it even like looks good. Uh oh, that one actually got onto the top loader. It's fine, we can work with this. We can work with this. So in theory, this is intended to simulate how it would look. It kind of got on, but we have time to remove it. I think it could look good. I think it could also look bad, but I think it could look good depending on how we do it. So we are going to roll with it. We are going to roll with drawing on a gold border. Maybe I can make it a little bit more decorative. Okay, maybe that's too thick of a gold border. Huh? I think I can work with this. It's just an accent. It won't be like the full focus. So maybe we can do something like cute with it. Trust the process, chat. Trust the process. If not, we have a third one if I mess this up terribly. So, I know it looks like a lot right now, but I think once we add like some of the stickers and gems on it, it kind of will even itself out, I think. Quest the pot. Yeah, it's a paint marker. Because we don't really have a lot of stickers. Though, what I will do is I'm gonna put the stickers on first this time. Because it does look cuter when you put the stickers on first. So it's gonna have like a couple less stickers than the other one probably. And then that's going to build our base into like the actual decoration. Hopefully. I pray that this comes out as well as I hope it does. The shame none of these are like sliced like this. Alright, let's see. This is also kind of why you want the tweezers, so that you can like better position stuff. It's alright, but we can work with it. Some of these are like not peeling off the way I want them to. I think the only downside is we don't have like a big pot in a color. We don't have this big pot down here in a color that matches this. So I wonder if like doing something like the blue heart would actually look more visually interesting than in the corner. I might actually do the dark blue heart in the corner. Just because it would have a better contrast. But we do have these orange little dots, so we can make use of the orange dots. Should I make a photo frame stand to remember the cardboard thing where I just pull out the glass? That was a nice sign. Oh, I suppose. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that you could probably do. So trust the process. The goal is... I'm not sure how I feel about the gold, but I don't think it looks terrible. I think the gold was definitely a design choice of all time. I think if we keep layering this on appropriately, it will start to blend over. I can just open the back and let the card sleeve stand up. Maybe? I mean, these aren't for me, so I don't know how the people receiving these are gonna choose to display them. But I hope it's doing well. Come on, yeah. A lot of these are not coming with the sticky back. It's a little concerning. The like sticky back is sticking more to like the actual like plastic than it is to the little flame, and that's moderately concerning to see, but again, I suppose we'll just roll with it. I think the light blue pearls are going to add like a very needed contrast. Things are like really heavily centered on this side. The gold border is definitely not helping with that. But then we'll just trust the process, not trust the might add another stick to kind of break up this area. If it would even properly stick where I want it to go. I'll probably break it up more by using some. I think this one is not looking as nice as the other one because I should have grabbed more, we have more very colored middle size. I think that's why this one is a little lacking. I actually pull off this orange heart and replace it with a blue one. Just because I know it'll look more visually interesting. Like, you see how the blue looks more interesting next to the... Yeah, the blue part looks more interesting next to the orange flower. We're gonna do another blue heart. And hope that kind of just adds something, I suppose. We should have more of the orange bubble. I think the orange bubble would be good. Definitely more chaotic in nature. I'm not liking it as much as the first one, but I don't think it's like terrible to look at either, you know? I feel like I can do better. I feel like I can do better, but... It is what it is. I think I'm going to head y'all out for the evening. I really like hanging out with y'all, but you know, I do gotta get ready for bed. I'm not sure if this is what I'm fully sending. I might maybe see if I can find cute stickers to make a better version of this. I at least still have a decent amount of these left over to kind of make something with. I think this isn't terrible on its own. I do think I like the composition of the other one better. So maybe we can find better colors. And cuter stickers. Maybe. This one for sure. I think I'm pretty happy with this one now. Compared to the other one. Alright, let's see who's live right now and I'll send you over their way. Good old Twitch chat. I rarely get to raid LDS, so I'm gonna send y'all to LDS for the evening. They're doing some remote duels, so that's gonna be fun. Oh, who thinks of that? Thank you for hanging out. So our raid message which is good luck with the duel. Hope you and Lynn are having fun. Wait, no. Pause. You and Lynn are both cool. Okay, my brain fine. Second message. Pause. Let's check to see what rank this duel I was. Master's game. It was relaxing to look. I'm glad you enjoyed the look. Chat, I hope you'll have a nice rest of your day, evening, wherever you are. Do take care of yourselves. Send LDS all my love. I'll see you all when I see you. And just remember. Yeah, tomorrow we are having the 1000 Day Dragon Nails Master Duel Tournament. You all will have 30 minutes from when the stream starts to sign up. We're starting at 6 PM PST. You can find more info in the Discord. So send all this all of my love. Copy the raid message if you'd like. And just remember, both Twitch and YouTube, that you're all a nice guy. $1. And raid! Hello, Unmasked Yumi. Thank you for the follow. Thank you for coming out, everybody. Thank you, YouTube. And bye-bye, folks. And stream.